Miss Ann for Tween and Teen Cooking to Go. Today I'm reading one of my favorite stories. It's a picture book that we have here in the children's department. If you would like to check it out, come and see me and I hope you locate it in our children's department. So, Apple Farmer Annie. The pictures and the words are by Monica Wellington. I love reading this book. It's story time. Apple Farmer Annie. So if you look in every two pictures, the setting, you will see her puppy and her kitty. Dedication page for Barbara, Jonathan, Emily, Elizabeth, and Alexander. Annie is an apple farmer. She has a big orchard of apple trees. There's her puppy and her little kitty is at the door. In the fall, she picks baskets and baskets of round, ripe apples. She grows many kinds of apples. She sorts and organizes them. And look, there's a friend, a little mouse. Annie uses some of the apples to make sweet apple cider. Ugh. I love apple cider. She uses others to make delicious smooth applesauce. Yum. She loves baking muffins, cakes, and pies with her apples. But she saves the most beautiful ones of all to sell fresh at the market. She loads everything into her truck and drives to the city. Annie, the apple farmer, sets up her stand in the farmer's market. Lots of customers come to Annie's stand. She's busy all day long. Oh, that's awesome. By the end of the day, she sold everything. She packs up to go home. Annie's tired but happy. It feels so good to have her own apple farm. So Annie's in her pajamas at home with her little kitty cat on her lap, and she's eating apple and reading a book. This is the Big Apple book. Apple varieties: Baldwin, Cortland, Delicious, Empire, Granny Smith, Jonathan, Maccoon, Macintosh, Northern Spy, Rome Beauty. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So the recipe that I chose out of the back of the book, she has 3 different recipes: applesauce, apple muffins, and applesauce cake. I chose applesauce cake. So you need a 1/2 cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 1 and 1/4 cups of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg, which is optional, a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, which is optional, 1 cup of applesauce, and 2/3 cup of raisins. Cream together butter and sugar in a large mixing bowl. Add egg and beat well. In a separate bowl, sift together flour, baking soda, salt, and spices. Add a cream mixture alternately with applesauce, beating after each addition and blending well. Stir in the raisins. Pour batter into a 9-inch greased tube pan. Bake at 375 degrees for 45 minutes or until brown. Toothpick inserted into the cake should come out clean. Cool, then spread with butter frosting. And she has a butter frosting recipe too. 2 tablespoons of softened butter, 2 cups of confecture sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 3 tablespoons of milk. Cream together butter, sugar, and vanilla extract. Add milk and stir well. The frosting should be smooth and easy to spread on your applesauce cake. Sounds delicious. So the last page of the book, we see different people eating different apple products. He's eating an apple, there's a muffin, the applesauce cake, a caramel apple, an apple pie, a bag of apples, and then applesauce. So this is the end of Apple Farmer Annie. Stay tuned for my cooking video because I'm going to show you how to make the applesauce cake. Hi, this is Miss Ann for Tween and Teen Cooking to Go. You just listened to me read Apple Farmer Annie, and now this is a recipe that's in the back of that book, applesauce cake. So what you will need for the recipe is 1 cup of white granulated sugar, 1 1/4 cups of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 cup of applesauce, 2/3 cup of raisins, 2 cups of confectioner sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 cup of butter, 2 eggs, a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, which is optional, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, which is optional, 2 tablespoons of softened butter for the frosting, 2 tablespoons of milk for the frosting, 2 mixing bowls, a mixing spoon, a 9-inch greased bundt pan or some kind of tube pan. I'm going to use an Angel food pan because I couldn't find my bundt pan. Toothpick, hot pads, or oven mitts. An oven. You need to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. In a large mixing bowl, stir together the butter and the sugar. A 1/2 cup of butter to 1 cup of sugar, and I need my wooden spoon. The butter is not quite soft. I took out some other butter for the frosting, so it's really soft, but I don't have enough for this. So we're just going to break it up. We're going to still work on the butter of breaking it up, but I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 eggs. Make sure your hands are clean, and after you mess with the raw eggs, you need to wash your hands. Okay, I need to wash my hands. So see the clumps in my butter? You do not want that. The recipe doesn't say soften butter for the cake or room temperature, but I would definitely do that because it's so much easier. Okay, so go ahead and continue mixing that up. In a separate mixing bowl, you want to mix 1 1/4 cup of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You have it all mixed up. So you just want to gradually mix it in to your butter and sugar and egg mixture. Go ahead and mix your flour mixture all up in it. Go ahead and add a couple of applesauce. We're just going to gradually add it. Smells really good. Go ahead and add the raisins, which is 2/3 of a cup. Mix it really well. Looks like that. You can see the small little lumps of butter. As long as they're small, it's okay. So now you need to grease your tube pan. You could use a bump pan, or I'm using an Angel Food pan because I couldn't find my bump pan. You can use butter to grease your pan, or non-stick spray, and that's what I'm using. Make sure you do the sides, and I'm doing the middle real good. Go ahead and pour your cake batter in the pan. So now you're going to put it in the oven and bake it so you can see. You're going to put it in the oven and bake it for 45 minutes in a preheated oven of 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And make sure to use toothpicks to check it. And use pot holders or hot pads or something so you don't burn your hands. So I have my 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Oh, by the way, the cake is out of the oven and it's cooled and it looks really good. So take 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and we want to gradually add our 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. Then 1 more cup. Teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to gradually mix in our milk. So we'll probably end up with 3 tablespoons of milk. So we're going to do 1 at a time. Here's 2. We're going to go ahead and add the 3rd one. Oh, there we go. Make sure to scrape the sides of your bowl. Oh, this is a good consistency. See how smooth it looks? Okay, we are going to go ahead and spread it on our applesauce cake. This would be good with like an icing drizzled over it, like you do cinnamon rolls. We're going to put some on the edge of the cake and let it kind of drizzle off. Kind of like it's stewing in the middle of the cake. Careful you don't get too much in the middle like I did. I'm actually going to get some out of the middle. You can let it sit out to the air and harden up a little bit. Our Apple Farmer Annie's applesauce cake looks delicious. Check that out. So we are going to try this to see how good it is. And see what the cake looks like. I cut it like a pie. You see the raisins in it. That's what it looks like. I have to try one more bite. My first reaction is I think it's just a little bit dry, but is it really? Because it looks moist. But it's really good. I might have overcooked it by a minute or 2, but I give this recipe a thumbs up. Stay tuned for my next recipe for this summer. Thank you for watching.